On joining the Prometheus off the Ramhead, where Lord Keith's flag was in flying, I received the following note from his lordship. I have been chased all day by a lawyer with a habeas corpus. He's landed at Cowsand, and may come off in a sailing boat during the night. Of course, keep all sorts of boats off, and I will do the like in whatever ship I may be in. Keith. Bonaparte wrote another letter this evening to the Prince Regent, which I carried to Lord Keith, who again told me of his having been chased all day by a lawyer, who had first started him out of his own house, then followed him to the Tunnet, where he attempted to get in at one side as his lordship left her on the other. He afterwards pursued him towards Cowsand, but the admiral, being in a 12-oared barge, outrowed him and gave him the slip round the Ramhead. It was on his return from this chase that he attempted to get on board the Bellerophon. Bonaparte now confined himself entirely to his cabin, never coming on deck or appearing at breakfast or dinner. He was not served from the table, but what he ate was prepared and carried to him by Marchand, his favorite valet de chambre. Messieurs Bertrand and Lescazes passed much time with him. On this evening the protest was prepared, which will appear in the sequel. On the morning of the 5th of August, the weather was overcast, with a short breeze of wind, and the sea began to rise, much to the discomposure of my poor French guests. Soon after breakfast, my signal being made from the Tunnet where Lord Keith had now hoisted his flag, I told General Bertrand that I was going to the Admiral, and would convey anything Bonaparte had to say to him. He requested that I would wait until a letter of paper then under preparation was finished, which was intended for me, but a copy was to be presented to Lord Keith. I waited nearly an hour, when he brought me Bonaparte's protest. I delivered it to the Admiral, stating at the same time that I wished to have a copy, and was afterwards furnished with one by his lordship's secretary. I insert it here. Bonaparte's protest. I hereby solemnly protest in the face of heaven and of men against the violence done on me and against the violence of my most sacred rights in forcibly disposing of my person and my liberty. I came voluntarily on board the Bellerophon. I'm not a prisoner. I'm a guest of England. I came on board even at the instigation of the captain, who told me he had orders from the government to receive me in my suite and conduct me to England, if agreeable to me. I presented myself with good faith to put myself into the protection of the English laws. As soon as I was on board the Bellerophon, I was under shelter of the British people. If the government, in giving orders to the captain of the Bellerophon to receive me, as well as my suite, only intended to lay a snare for me, it has forfeited its honor, and it has disgraced its flag. If this act be consummated, the English will in vain boast to Europe about their integrity, their laws, and their liberty. British good faith will be lost in the hospitality of the Bellerophon. I appeal to history. I will say that an enemy who for 20 years waged war against the English people came voluntarily in his misfortunes to seek an asylum under their laws. What more brilliant proof could he give of his esteem and his confidence? But what return did England make for so much magnanimity? They feigned to stretch forth a friendly hand to that enemy, and when he delivered himself up in good faith, they sacrificed him. Napoleon